Great. Welcome, everyone. Hopefully everyone can hear me. Vinnie, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Stuart.
Wonderful. Great. Thank you so much. I feel like we have to, in these wild days we're living in these days, constantly checking. Can you hear me? Can you see me? It is the new virtual world. Right. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us for our final speaker of the evening. I have the distinct pleasure of introducing Vinnie, who works with Scotiabank in their enterprise data and architecture teams. She's going to be talking about a really fascinating topic in today's financial industry around RPA and AI. It's interesting that both those were disrupting financial industry previous to COVID. And lately, a lot of the conversations I'm having with some of my financial partners and clients are about how to really expedite the leveraging of RPA in this new world as organizations are forced to work with off-premises people, off-premises systems, how they can start using more and more RPA and AI to actually deal with this whole new world of work. It's quite an interesting topic. Vinnie has led cross-functional teams across cloud and customer experience. She's passionate about conversational AI and the impact on business intelligence. She's an early adopter of digital transformation before it became a trendy and overused and misunderstood terms. And she's, as I said, worked with Scotia. She's had experience with both TD and IBM in similar roles and studied at Harvard and the University of Toronto, and holds a number of Microsoft certificates across artificial intelligence, machine learning, and data. So certainly a very impressive CV. Very much looking forward to what you have to say. Vinnie, I will pass it over to you. Again, to everyone in the audience, put your Q&As, please, into the chat. Hari Krishna will collect those, and at the end of the session, Vinnie, Hari Krishna will come back on, ask a few of those questions, and close us off for the evening. So over to you, Vinnie. Thank you so much for giving up your time. Really excited to what you have to say.
Sounds great. Thanks a lot, Stuart. Good evening, everybody, and thanks, Stuart, for the kind introduction here. So without wasting any time, as Stuart mentioned, that the topic that I'll be talking today about is one of the very in-demand topics, and which definitely is taking up the trajectory across not just the banking industry, but across all the diverse industries today. So I'm going to be talking about how robotic process automation and artificial intelligence are actually disrupting the banking industry in specific today. So in general, like I'll be going ahead, it's a very vast topic. Like I cannot holistically talk about the comprehensive things across the topic, but I'll try to touch upon how did actually RPA evolve, how is RPA and AI clubbing in together to give us the right blend of the technologies for giving us a customized intelligent automation across the industry. Then I'll talk about from experience, talking about the use cases across the Canadian banks, and from my experience with as a technology partner across from the globe as to how other banks leveraging it today. So without any further ado, so talking about robotic process automation, where it is today. Like I always like to start my slide about giving you a glimpse about where we are standing today. So if I go about thinking the recent trends and the forecasts towards the robotic process automation activities across the enterprises, what you'll see is you'll see a drastic increase. Like it was somewhere about 250 million that was in 2016 when we just started with it, and we are having a right forecast, a very accurate forecast almost for 2021, which is $2.9 billion. So just try to understand the trajectory. Just try to understand the steep increase we have there. Like there's no doubt about it that we have a 65% of annual growth rate. And if you want me to put that in a very simpler terms, still more simpler terms as to how are we leveraging it today, like we are estimating more than 4 million robots doing the office and the administrative work by 2021. And looking at the COVID period we are in today, we may be expecting even more for that. So now, before we go ahead and talking about how has the years from 2016 to 2021 be gonna looking like, what are we expecting in the future? Let's give a quick sneak peek into how did it actually start? How have we taken the path towards what we are in today? So we all understand that we started from very simple macro applications. We used to have some rule-based automations, but gone are those days. That was very short-lived phase because the value proposition is not there. That's not where the value proposition is. What we are looking forward to is completely automated world, like not just robotic process automation, but along with that, we want to bring in some cognitive automation. We want to bring in some workforce management. We want to bring in the right advanced analytics so that we could be using the blend of all these to have the right focused approach for our customers, for our products, and have a very targeted approach to our customers given right there. So that's where we are heading towards. Now, this is a quick thing which you can be a quick glimpse you can be looking at. Just pulled it from Google. Just try to look at the trends for robotic process automation, and that's what you will see there. Like this, look at the trajectory. It's like going steep increase. Like if you look at the disruption it has been having across the industries, it's not just because of the low cost that the RPA brings in. It's not just because of the optimization that the RPA brings in. Like it clubs together a number of factors like those which actually influence the higher productivity model that RPA is actually aiming at. Now, that is in general about all the enterprises. That is in general as to how are we actually going ahead and making use of leveraging all the opportunity that we have towards actually delivering targeted customer experiences with the operational efficiencies that we want to bring in for our own organizations. But the question still doesn't stop in there, because we need to have a look at what does the current situation look like. Is that all we want? Like we want to go ahead and just automate some mundane tasks. That's not all that we want. Now I'm trying to bring in some banking terminologies over here. Like all of us being bankers, not by not holistically, but having some good knowledge of how the banking operates. So we want to go ahead and look at the plethora of regulations that we have across the bank, the number of rules that we want to have to follow, and the compliance regulations that we need to have. How complex are the anti-money laundering or know your customer compliance rules that we need to look at? Are all those tasks good enough to be performed by just a simple robotic process automation? That's the question. Like, is RPA a silver bullet for banking, or do we need more? That's a quick question to all of you. Now, try to ponder about it, like, because RPA is just automating a quick thing, a quick process. But we need to have, when we talk of banking, we need to have that manual intervention. We need to have that human brain working on some task. So that's where the question comes. And the answer here is banking needs something more. Banking needs something beyond RPA. And that's what, if you go back to the slide that I was on, when I was talking about the evolution, you saw that we have evolved from rule-based automation to what I call cognitive automation. That was RPA and AI, because that was actually looking at integrating these two. RPA is designed exclusively for automation of some tedious functions that do not correlate in any way to human intelligence. And what AI does is it makes our machines intelligent by eventually even meeting or superseding the human behavior and intelligence. And we want to go ahead and club in both of these so that we can be using the best of both the worlds and bringing to our banking applications. That's where we are heading towards. So if you want to go ahead and have a look at how is RPA disrupting banking, this is a quick snippet I just drew today from the Forrester Group survey. Like, try to look at it. If you want to go ahead and look at it, not all the figures, not all the percentages over here, just try to look at the third one. It says that the only percentage of banks which are not considering leveraging RPA today is 2%. And trust me, believe me or not, I even doubt that, because that's a bit of an older survey. From the experiences that I've had with the Canadian banks and with the banks globally working as a technology partner, I doubt that we even have 2% of banks who are not considering RPA. Banks are actually embracing the robotic process automation with artificial intelligence along with, and going ahead and heading on towards the digital journeys using the latest technologies to actually go ahead and accomplish the goals. That's where banks are actually heading towards. So if I want to go ahead and ask you a question, like you may be asking me that question as to why do banks want to go ahead and do that? Because if we talk about a country's economy, if we want to talk about the world's economy, we all know it very well that banks are a great influencing factor on that, because banks actually have the power to boost the economy completely. And the innovative strategies that the banks are actually going ahead and bringing in, that's a great influencing factor as to how we are boosting the economy overall efficiency to reach to a simply another level. Now, if we want to go ahead and talk about where I started from, that RPA is actually aimed at improving our operational efficiencies, but that's just one aspect of it. We want to go ahead and definitely optimize our business processes and costs. We want to go ahead and eliminate some mundane tasks, some reworking. We don't want human errors to go ahead and have the task being repeated for no reasoning. We want to go ahead and improve the quality, velocity. Doing all this, what is our focus? Banks today are customer focused and not product focused. That's one big ambition we are looking at. And also, doing all this, last but not the least, what the banks are surviving on top of today. We want to go ahead and make it sure that we are facilitating governance and compliance through all these stages, because that's the most important factor that the banks have to comply with. So this is how robotic process automation, or what I may be terming as intelligent automation, because banks leverage robotic process automation with the artificial intelligence. So intelligent automation, that's how banks are leveraging it today to reach to the next level in their operational efficiencies and in actually going ahead and boosting the economy. But as a data scientist as a data scientist like by profession earlier, so what I would say is no processes, no automation can actually bring in the desired benefits if we don't have the right data. We want to go ahead and make it sure that RPA is fueled by better and the best data available to go ahead and use those automated processes. Because only then can we go ahead and provide operational efficiency, which has to be clubbed on with personalized customer experiences for our customers. And this is what leads us towards the era of cognitive RPA. That's what I said. We want cognitive automation plus workforce management coming along with advanced analytics and robotic process automation. That's what we are heading towards, because that's where the value lies. And only using these, only clubbing these right technologies can we go ahead and bring in the best solutions to the market. Now, if I want to go ahead and give you a practical example over here. Lately, there are some banks in Japan and Germany which are actually going ahead and coming up with some great robotic process automations for this COVID-19 period, some great robots which are not just automating the tasks, but actually bringing in that human factor to it, along with the business rules that need to be asserted. So that's the way that banks are going ahead and leveraging it. I'll talk about more examples as I go ahead in the further slides. Now, that I talked about German banks, or maybe banks in Japan, or even Canadian banks, like we at Scotiabank are even doing that for so many of our processes like right now. So each and every task, each and every bank, each and every industry has a certain ambition, certain goal to achieve. So we don't want to go ahead and take that same road towards attaining that. We need to have some customized automation, which we can be leveraging to achieve our goals, to achieve our tasks in the best possible manner. That's what is called, I term it as taking optimizations to a further next step. So for that, we want to make sure that we want to go ahead and leverage the right models, because not all automation will need complete manual intervention. Some of them will be partially automated. Some of them will be completely automated. Accordingly, we need to bring in the attended or the unattended RPA models. And as we understand the banking processes completely, like we have legacy platforms and so which are pretty complex to integrate. Like we cannot go ahead and integrate the legacy platform for all lines of businesses for one particular data, like the data hub that we want to go ahead and create. So RPA goes ahead and brings us the way that which needs no complex system integrations, but still it offers an effective protection against the cyber threats that we are going ahead and fighting against. And This is all, which is all available at a 24/7 support so that we could be operating continuously for productivity gains. And from the data that we have had from the banks that have been going ahead and leveraging these over the years, we see that banks have actually gone ahead and a certain even till 50% of gains in their complete ROI over the years that they have deployed that. And the thing that actually brings in it makes it easier to go ahead and implement is it's a code-free scalable platform. Like the agility and the capacity that we want to go ahead and bring in with the improvements, it's completely simple to go ahead and bring in. You don't need some specs, some expertise to go ahead and bring it into your banks. It's so easy to implement. And all of this comes with a detailed audit trail, which definitely is the strongest, the most strengthening factor that all the banks need. So that's the customized RPA that comes in, the way we want to leverage it, the way we want to go ahead and use it. So making it sure that we are aiming and achieving our goals for our banks. Now, that was quite a lot talking about what is RPA, how are we actually going ahead and blending it into intelligent automation, what are the ways we could be customizing it to achieve our goals. But we want to go ahead and let's look at the ways some of the banks today are actually going ahead and bringing it into action. How is that faster decision making actually helping us improve the operational efficiency? So I must say, like in a simple term, if I have to say, I can say that RPA is one of the virtual workforce that can be reckoned with today, because you have so much of a big percentage of the tasks in the banks being actually performed by your robots or by your RPAs in automated processes. That's where it's going. So this is a quick bar graph that I pulled to actually show how is the use of RPA, the leverage of automation processes increased over the years, and that's by market size, by type, and looking at where it will be in 2025. We'll have it all, like 75% is the figure that we are aiming at for all our almost all of our backend processes and almost all of our processes which need to be partially automated. Now, one process that we all need to talk about when we talk about the banking landscape is digitizing our KYC landscape. So know your customer landscape. That's what drives the banks. That's what drives our marketing. That's what drives our say IT. That's what drives our retail. That's what drives the bank holistically. So we want to go ahead and find an answer to evolving regulatory requirements, the soaring operational expenses that we see in this landscape, and make it sure that we are diminishing the client satisfaction, which is lowering day by day. Because today, if we see, like the onboarding time is long, and it has increased. It actually has increased, like it's still at a very 10 plus 10%, 18% still, and we want to go increase by 18%. We want to go ahead and maintain that it should be at a minimal time, because we want to go ahead and give satisfaction to our customers. So that's for your KYC landscape, bringing in the robotic process automation clubbed on with the artificial intelligence, because we want to go ahead and extract the data using the right AI processes, and we want to go ahead and leverage the data for a targeted approach for our customers. So that's what the KYC landscape is actually aiming at going further. Now, another example that I wanted to bring here was intelligent receivables. So we all know that we need to be bringing in some innovative approaches for maintaining or automating our payment allocations. We have smart technology. We are surrounded by smart technologies today. Call it AI, the BI tools that we have, or the automation tools that we have. So we want to go ahead and make sure that we have the right approach to leverage these automation tools, to leverage these technologies, and deliver the right approach for our intelligent receivables. So what's happening today is the payments and associated remittance often arrive separately. But we don't want to spend that extra effort to bring that information together. And we want one view of those payments and associated remittances for our customers, for our employees. So what we are doing today is we are leveraging AI, or say some web scanning scans for all these remittances, for critical information, so that we have 100% data being captured for these payments and for these data remittances, so that we can have one view for our customers, for our employees, which can be leveraged for any decisions being made after that. So that's one area where RPA and AI is bringing in a great deal of automation. Now, I don't want to go ahead and give you a slide on every possible area that we could be leveraging it in, and also I can't be talking about every possible area that we are leveraging RPA today in. I just pulled in, I just brainstormed a bit, and these are a couple of the most focused areas we're trying to bring in digitization in today. Talk about customer services. We want to have some automated rule-based processes which should be able to reach our customers in real time. Now, reaching our customers in real time, we want to make sure that we have the turnaround time reduced to seconds. And we are helping with the decision making with AI. That's where this comes in. Now, I already talked about compliance and know your customer. I can't, and nobody can ever get rid of the importance of fraud analytics or the fraud detection and the importance it makes for the banks. We want to make sure that we want to go ahead and track the transactions and raise the right flags at the right time and have the right patterns being detected, and every particular instance is being taken care of at the right point of time. Because if we miss one, it can be a big loss to the bank. This is all, only RPA cannot do that. We are bringing in the right AI, we are bringing in the right cognitive automation, we are bringing in the right workforce management to go ahead and use all of these to deliver this particular component. Now, that was talking very briefly, yet exhaustively, about what is RPA, how we are leveraging intelligent automation, touching upon a few use cases we can be leveraging that towards. But the question still remains, if we want to go ahead and start doing it today in the right manner, what is the right approach to it? So I thought about, let me bring in a quick slide from experience across the banks as to what is the right way to go ahead and do it. Let's not jump into it. Let's not just say, let's start doing RPA. Let's start leveraging automation, automating our processes. That's not the right way. Because we want to understand the challenges and then go ahead. Right now, I have been going ahead and writing the right strategy for Scotiabank as to how we want to go ahead and digitize our practices and make it sure that we are automating the right things for the right delivery and for the right customer satisfaction. So we want to go ahead and make it sure that we have a clear vision of the problem statement. We want to make it sure that we have a clear understanding of the potential challenges. We go ahead and have some right proof of concepts or MVPs before we go ahead and understand the metrics which we can be pivoting, or we can be going ahead and using it across for our wider functions. That's the way to identify the right processes we want to go ahead and automate, which will bring us the right value back to the bank. So once again, I'm just adding on a phased approach to it. We want to go ahead and make it sure that we go step by step, because that's what will actually go ahead and leverage the right automation in a very secure and a highly performant fashion. Only automation is not what we want. We want it both secure and giving us a high performance. That's what leverages the value. So we need to have that right phased approach to actually go ahead and embark that journey, accomplishing the success we want from it. So last but not the least, what I want to talk about today is talking about RPA. I already said that it's a bit late, a bit late in time. We are still ahead of it now. We started from RPA and we are sitting on the stage of intelligent automation. We want to go ahead and have intelligent processes. So, but as Gartner predicts it, we are still moving towards a better stage. We are moving towards a world, what Gartner terms it as hyper-automation. Talking of hyper-automation, we started from something very task-based, then we started talking about something complemented RPA, but now what we are aiming at is, we are aiming at enabling hyper-automation, which will be a digital toolbox of all the right decision modeling techniques or the past models, the right machine learning, the right analytics that we want to bring in, everything together in a toolbox that can help us accomplish the right automation with the right goals and with the right metrics being taken care of. That's the future. Let's embrace it all together, and all the best for the journeys towards it. So stopping it right there, let me know if you have any questions, and I'll be more than happy to go ahead and take that. Okay, so one of the questions that I'm seeing over here is asking me about some of the best tools available today. That's a great question. That's indeed a great question. So I can go ahead and take that question like back from my days from Microsoft or having been with Google. Like, the technology companies are taking a leap towards it today. Like, if I have to talk about some of the immediate applications that I'm bringing in at Scotiabank, or the ways that we have been leveraging, like Scotia is both on Google and Azure, the way we are looking at leveraging Azure and Google towards the robotic process automation, I must say that both the cloud providers have taken a leap towards it. If I talk about Microsoft, talk about the Power Platform, and we have the right tools for every process, for every automation that you want to bring in, with the Power Virtual Agents, with the Power Automation, the Power Apps. So we want to go ahead and define a problem, and the tools are there, sitting there to go ahead and align and make the end-to-end automation for your processes. The next question I see over here is, will there be a lot of job loss? That's a good question, and that's a question I almost have at every presentation or every talk I'm talking on. So, well, that is a question which definitely does not have a definitive answer, but I don't see a lot of job loss with it. Trust me, I don't see a lot of job loss with it. Like, it does bring in a lot of automation for the backend tasks, but we still need human efforts. We still need human intervention to go ahead and have those tasks being carried out in a very streamlined fashion. So if we want to go ahead, if I want to go ahead and talk about one of the recent engagements that I'm in at Scotiabank, like, we are looking at using the right bots for the right lines of businesses, and making it sure that we are having the right applications leveraging those bots, making the right decisions for our customers, for our employees. So we need human intervention in there. Well, I'm not quite sure of that if we have some good interbank efforts being going on in sharing the data, because the only platform that I have been sharing the data on is having been with Harvard, with the U of T. So I'm sharing the data on the Harvard Business Reviews. Like, just last year, late December, I shared one of the business reviews about how we can be leveraging intelligent automation, and what are the right ways to go ahead and leverage the banking data, or the data that we have at hand for using these in the further projects that we have. So besides that, I'm not sure if we have some interbank approach to do that. Talking about some internal obstacles to RPA, definitely we do have some internal obstacles to RPA. Well, first of all is that banks, specifically banks, like, we are quite used to those historical way of our processes. We need to go ahead and analyze those processes, because sometimes a good analysis of those processes actually helps us understand that we can be actually getting rid of so many steps. We don't need to automate that. We can be getting rid of so many steps to actually have an efficient process to be automated for our end-to-end tasks. And for those, we need the right skill set, we need the right platform, we need the right collaboration of all those groups to go ahead and do that. So that's one of a big challenge, that we need to go ahead and have all those things coming together so that we can be taking advantage from that. From a regulatory lens, there are not concerns about banks leveraging AI and RPA. We do have to be very stringent. We do have to be very particular. Like, say, for example, if I want to go ahead and use some PI data, for one of my robotic process automations, I want to make it sure that I want to bring in the right, say I'm talking from one of the latest projects on the top of my head. I want to bring in the right microservices approach, so that my data is masked before it goes onto the cloud, so that I can define an end-to-end way to go ahead and automate it, plus stay contingent with the regulatory compliance rules that I have, which should be going in parallel to the automation I'm bringing in. Well, I think I don't see any more questions on the screen here. So I think we're almost in time also. Oh, there's one more question. Which is a core, any best practices or tools for data identification before? Well, we do have best practices, but trust me, the best practices or tools for the data identification before the model creation, it actually depends upon what is the end goal that we are actually aiming at. Because we can be having different projects at hand that you want to go ahead and leverage the automation for, and the practices and the tools will automatically vary. So that's what I define in that one slide about talking about how to go ahead and approach RPA process. So we want to go ahead and be sure that we are clear in our heads about what is the goal, what are the challenges we are trying to actually answer, and then we can be choosing the right tools and the right best practices. And I can share the link. I did publish one of the Harvard Business Reviews about the best practices we can be leveraging for the same. I can share that later on. Well, as your current understanding of this process, that it is implemented using a set of business rules, that is correct to a certain extent and not completely right. We do make it sure that we are leveraging the business rules that a business has to comply with. We are leveraging those business rules, but along with that, we're bringing in the right cognitive automation. We are bringing in the right set of advanced analytics on top of it, so that we can be having the blend of the skills, the blend of the right automation technologies, which can be giving us the right direction as to what is the right approach we need to have for our particular problem. And that's what makes our models the targeted models. And that's what I said. I started my conversation with why RPA and AI. We want to have a very targeted approach for our products, for our customers. We want to have a very targeted approach. And that's what gives us that targeted approach.
Hi, Vinnie. It's Stuart Hayes.
Hey, Stuart.
My apologies, everyone. I got kicked out for the last 10, 15 minutes. Is the world of technology. Vinnie, I think we're near the end of our slot.
Yeah.
Of course, if you want to stay on and answer some more questions, that's wonderful. But I know you've got lots to do over at Scotia. It sounds like you've got some really exciting stuff over there. Thank you so much. We will look at seeing which parts of the presentation we're able to share publicly with Vinnie's permission. And if there are any other questions that weren't answered here, we'll do our best to kind of collect them. So, Vinnie, thank you so much. Please enjoy your evening.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, feel free to join us in the public stage and the reception area if you wanted to continue any conversations, but we'll start shutting this down and ask everyone, please move into the reception and the stage for a couple of networking events and seeing what else is going on. So thank you so much, Vinnie. Really impressive presentation.
Thanks all. Take care and have a great day.